So you think you may have found a surrogate and you're ready to go on to the next step, and you find out, hey, you need a lawyer to draft the contract for you. Someone like me. And you're wondering, but how much does a surrogacy lawyer cost? Or what am I going to have to pay? Well, let's talk about it. What's up? I'm Corlandos Scott, and I'm a surrogacy lawyer. My practice revolves around helping people grow their family through assisted reproduction with things like surrogacy, egg donation, sperm donation, all that good stuff. In this episode, we're going to answer the question, what does a surrogacy lawyer cost, or how much does a surrogacy lawyer cost? We'll look at the general arrangement, we'll look at what value you should get from a surrogacy lawyer, and we'll talk about why in the heck do you need one in the first place. Let's dive in. I hear a lot of people ask, what does a surrogacy lawyer cost? Or how much does a surrogacy lawyer cost? And really, to me, it's like asking, well, what does your peace of mind cost? The answer? Priceless. Well, apart from the legal expertise and the knowledge about surrogacy, peace of mind is what a surrogacy lawyer should offer to you as a hopeful parent. It actually should offer you if you're a donor or even a gestational carrier, because they help you navigate the assisted reproductive technology process. It's similar to how seeing a doctor when you're sick works. Having a surrogacy attorney work with you and guide you through the third-party reproduction process, it gives you the peace of mind that you won't veer from the path. You won't become vulnerable. You'll know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. But I know what you're thinking. Come on, Corlandos, put a dollar sign on it. Well, generally, how much it would cost you to hire an attorney would depend on a number of things. That attorney's reputation, that attorney's expertise. But here's something that's common in ART, or assisted reproductive technologies. Surrogacy attorneys typically have a standard flat fee arrangement for the range of services that they offer. Now, that's not everyone, but I'm saying it's common. And they typically do this regardless of how prolific or famous they are as an attorney, or even how wealthy or famous their clientele is. If you've heard me speak about ART in general, you've probably heard me say this. The money is always the least of the concerns of the professionals working in this field. Trust me, it's not about the money. Okay, so going back to the question of Corlandos, just tell me how much. How much does it cost to hire a surrogacy lawyer? Well, honestly, it can range in fees depending on what exactly you need in the process. For instance, the surrogacy process is split into two parts. There's the contract phase, and then there's the court judgment or the parental order phase that comes later on in the pregnancy. These fees can range anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 all the way up to $15,000. And it can depend on which state you're doing the process in, which law firm you're working with, and again, what type or range of legal services you need in your surrogacy journey, from contract to the parental establishment in court. But let's talk about the value that you should get at whatever price point your surrogacy lawyer costs. Number one, you should have, like I said, peace of mind. Honestly, my belief is that with a surrogacy lawyer by your side, all your questions and concerns should be answered. They should be taken into consideration, like applicable laws, the rights of the parties, the knowledge in third-party reproduction that they're able to lend you to even advise you on other parts of the process, like your clinic consent forms or how to work with your surrogacy agency. You should also get a well-laid-out surrogacy agreement that covers all the rights and responsibilities of each party. That agreement should apply all of the applicable laws that's in your jurisdiction, because getting this wrong is one of the worst mistakes that could happen. I mean, imagine going through all of the financial and physical parts of having a baby through surrogacy only to find out the legal part wasn't handled right and you're now not legally the parent of your child. That well laid out agreement should also consider all the contingencies and possible issues that may appear so that we address them at the very beginning of the process and you're not trying to figure stuff out as you go along throughout your surrogacy journey. Another value proposition that you should get from your surrogacy attorney is a way to secure the proper and legal parental rights to your child. Now, most states require that each party to a surrogacy arrangement be represented by an attorney. So it's not a matter of if I'm going to do it myself. By law, you have to have one. So with the help and guidance of a surrogacy lawyer who knows what he or she is talking about and knows what they're doing, you'll be able to properly petition a court to establish your legal parentage and, of course, get a favorable decision. It's my opinion that these fees are not necessarily set in stone completely. There are a number of reasonable and compassionate attorneys out there that are willing to do pro bono work when the circumstances require it. Now let's talk about why exactly you need a surrogacy attorney. But before we do, I want to ask, are you getting anything out of this video? If you are, go ahead and click that like button. Let YouTube know so that YouTube shares it with some other people. Also, you may as well subscribe and click the alert button so that you get updates whenever I drop a new video. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and click it. It's so easy. All you gotta do is move the mouse and click. All right, let's talk about why you need a surrogacy attorney. Does it have to be a surrogacy attorney or could it just be any attorney? I get this question often. Well, my cousin does real estate law. Can't they just handle this for me? I guess. Could your dentist also do your eye exam? Maybe. But would you want them to? Whichever route you go, let's make sure we have one operative word in place, and that's licensed. Always keep in mind that you want to work with a licensed attorney. Make sure that whoever is supposedly helping you with your contracts and that kind of thing is licensed to practice law. I remember having a client who initially told me that they decided to have one of their attorney friends who happened to be, I think he was a tax law attorney, represent them. They said, well, it'll make me feel at ease because I know this person, we grew up together. So I said, great. It's always good to have a close friend on your side. Well, the client returned to me after a few days saying their friend, after seeing a copy of the contract sent to him by another attorney, backed out saying that third-party reproduction is a totally different animal. And that's exactly true. It is. I even have family law attorney friends who say, look, I do divorces and child custody and stuff, but I'm not touching a surrogacy contract to save my life. And that's probably for the best, at least until you have some experience with it. You want to make sure that whoever you're working with knows the nuances and what could go right and wrong with the surrogacy journey. The nuances of assisted reproductive technology or third-party reproduction require the application of very specific laws, which sometimes are not quite easy to interpret. And sometimes there aren't even laws on the books in some certain jurisdictions. So when specific laws are not available, where do you turn? That's right, you turn to other laws that apply, which could either be family law, civil law, contract law, constitution, torts, and everything else that a surrogacy agreement may touch along the way. Med malpractice, breach of contract, specific performance, liabilities, inherent or constitutional rights of the parties, ethics, specific state laws. Yeah, all of that is in one big soup that we call a surrogacy arrangement. So make sure whoever you're working with can at least know where each of these types of law touch your surrogacy journey. Do you happen to remember when Michael Jordan decided to play baseball? Yeah, it's really good at basketball. Baseball? Yeah, not so much. It's sort of like that. I say that just to highlight yet again, make sure when you're working with an attorney, it's an attorney who understands and maybe even specializes or focuses their practice on assisted reproduction. You may, as an athlete, have the discipline and the stamina to play basketball well, but mastering a different sport may be different because the rules are different, and it's as simple as that. If you're looking to go through the surrogacy process and you're looking for a hand up or even some information to help you stay ahead of the curve and know exactly what you're getting into, then you're in luck because I have something for you. It's called my 3 T's to Successful Surrogacy Framework. And it's where I walk you through the 3 things that you must have in place to have a successful surrogacy journey and make sure that you don't lose sleep, time, or money. I'll give you a quick little teaser. The first T is team. I'll let you go ahead and click the link below in the description box to learn about the other 2 T's and how they all work together to give you a successful surrogacy journey. See you in the next episode.